For me, it's an easy sell. I think there are so many unique things that Notre Dame offers and no place else in the country offers. The connections, the alum, the for forever. How can we help you become this amazing human and person for the rest of your life?
From the campus of Our Lady's University, this is For Good, Stories from Notre Dame, a behind-the-scenes glimpse into life under the Golden Dome and the powerful stories that drive Notre Dame to become a force for good in the world.
Hello and welcome to For Good, Stories from Notre Dame. As we kick off a new school year, anticipation is building around the start of a new season for Notre Dame women's volleyball under the leadership of our outstanding head coach, Salima Rockwell, now beginning her third year. With an incredibly talented roster of 22 student athletes, including an incoming class ranked second in the ACC, the Fighting Irish are gearing up for a promising and competitive season. We're thrilled to have Coach Salima Rockwell with us here today. Salima, thanks so much for making the time. We're here in the beautiful confines of the Purcell Pavilion and the Joy Center.
Yep.
You're matching the court itself, green on green. I love it. So let's start before we talk about the Notre Dame program.
Yep.
You had the incredible honor of being the color commentary for the Women's Olympic team, and in all of July you were broadcasting, but you were doing it from afar. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I was so fortunate and, like you said, blessed to have the opportunity to call the games at the Olympics. It was for the men and the women.
Oh, both.
So it was both sides. 24 teams, competing 12 and 12. So a lot of prep, a lot of, studying goes into that. But it was awesome. Yeah. And it was unique because the commentary team was in Connecticut. We were in Stamford at NBC headquarters calling those matches remotely. So
is that the first time for you that you've called a match remotely?
You know what? No, during COVID, that's kind of when it all started. When I was in broadcasting, we went from completely on site to almost fully remote, and then a combination. And I think that was one thing that COVID taught everyone, that you can do things differently. And I think in this case, with so many different broadcasts being on Peacock and USA and NBC and E, there was so much going on this Olympics. It was the way to do it so they could house everything in one spot and still be able to get the games out. It was pretty amazing.
That's great. So what did you learn from the experience? Was there any, you've been around as a coach, as a player, and doing broadcasts for many, many years. Was this a highlight? Was this unique? What was special about this?
It was a highlight for sure. I mean, it's the Olympics, and you want to be in the Olympics.
And we came away with a gold, right? Silver in the women's and a bronze in the men's.
Yeah. So it was an awesome showing for the USA teams, but really just being a part of those matches. Calling a gold medal match. Yeah, like it really. I was just doing the matches and I do my thing, but it hit me. Yeah. Like, this is crazy. This is a really big deal. There's a lot of people listening, a lot of people watching. Yeah. So, the magnitude of it, didn't really escape me. It was awesome. And the production of it, like I said, all the pieces involved, all the times where we're calling a match, and we're doing it live. And we're doing it for the re-air, and we're doing it for Peacock all at the same time, which is a totally different animal. Our producer was amazing. Yeah. She is a rock star. I'll give her producer Pat a shout out. Right. But it was just awesome. Yeah.
So what about when you look and you were the captain of the U.S. national team for a few years. Yep. You've won multiple national championships as a coach, both at Penn State and at Texas. Yeah. You've played at the highest levels of the game, and you're one of the most decorated athletes. Broadcasting, does it give you the intrinsic joy that you did as a player or coach?
It's different, but you're still involved. And so for me as a coach, the way I see it, I like to scout the games. I like to watch film. When I went into broadcasting, my husband was like, wait a minute. I thought you were taking a step back and now I'm scouting more than I ever had. But to really get that across to the viewers, right? Yeah. It's just like someone turns on a football game. You want to know what's going on. You want to hear it. You want to hear it at a high level. Right. I want people to understand it, but also know that it's a pretty intricate game.
Yeah.
And so to hear it at a high level. So for me, it was a great transition. I loved doing it. Yeah. And you could be competitive without actually worrying about who won at the end.
That's right.
I could go home and sleep at night because it wasn't my team.
Wasn't your team.
Yeah.
I have a prediction. I think that you're going to be involved more in coaching these teams, the national teams going forward. And that's just my gut feel without any kind of inside info, that's for sure. But, to have you come to Notre Dame is a really, really big deal. And in fact, we have somebody in our team who was a player back in her day before you got here. And she was playing professionally in Hungary when the announcement was made that you were coming here. And this is what Hannah had to say. I remember landing in Budapest after a late night flight from Italy and getting a Notre Dame Volleyball alumni email announcing the new head coach. It featured a video of someone walking but didn't reveal their face, just the sound of their voice, which I immediately recognized as the voice of Salima Rockwell. I was in complete shock. Salima is so big in the volleyball world, and I couldn't believe we got her. But then again, it's Notre Dame, and this is what we do. At that moment, I knew what it meant to be a proud alum. I knew our program was in great hands. And from the Budapest International Airport, thousands of miles from Notre Dame, I let out my most heartfelt, "Go Irish." What an amazing tribute from a former player. Tell us about that move to leave broadcast and to come back to coach and to coach at Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was an interesting time because I wasn't planning on it. I'd gotten out of coaching for a little while, was starting that path. And, Missy called me, Missy Convoy. She called over and over and over again. But I was doing the national championship matches. I was calling all those games and trying to prepare and get my head right. But coaching was something I always knew deep down that I would want to get back into.
Right.
Because you just don't have that same level of impact and influence and mentorship, all those things I try to do through the broadcast, elevate the sport, elevate the women involved, but it's different than having that impact. Right. So when it came up, it was just one of those jobs that has always been very intriguing. Right. When you're a volleyball coach, you talk to your peers about jobs that, what do you think if that came up? That's a job where you could get it done. I don't know if they really fund this program well. Notre Dame's always been one of those. Yeah. So it kind of was just, the more I talked about it, the more I talked to my husband and my family about it, it was making a lot more sense. And once I talked to Jack and Missy and how serious they were about elevating volleyball at Notre Dame, I knew they were serious and they wanted to invest. And then I met the people. Yeah. I met you. I met lots of people involved.
We met at the I think it was the Fiesta Bowl, right?
Oh, we met at the Fiesta Bowl.
At the Fiesta Bowl, they were in high recruitment mode at that time.
It was crazy town, and no one knew. So I was like hiding in the skybox, and the cameras weren't on me, and no one saw that I was there because nobody knew except a small handful of friends. Right. But it's about the people here at Notre Dame. And everyone says that, but it really came down to that. So,
when you think about, you're coming from two giants, right, that have won national championships in Penn State and in Texas. And then in the broadcast world, working with all of the top programs, what did you make the right decision? I mean, you got 2 years under your belt. Right. If you didn't, don't worry, we'll cut it out of this program. You can say no and we'll just edit. But no, genuinely, 2 years in, you moved your husband and two sons up here to South Bend, Indiana. Right. You've totally thrown yourself into this program. Yeah. What are your thoughts after 2 years?
There is zero doubt in my mind that this was the right decision. I mean, this place is incredible. And I think my biggest fear coming here was that it wouldn't be as magical as you imagine it from the outside, right? Yeah. I grew up with it in my living room with my dad watching Notre Dame football. Yeah. And, it just has this mystique about it.
Yeah.
And after I accepted the job, and I was like, what if it's not that? What if it's actually not that? And it's that plus everything more. The place is amazing. The people are incredible. And I'm excited about the future of Notre Dame. I love it here.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not even thinking about anything else. We love it here as a family. And, my team, they're my joy. I love them. And I'm excited about the future and excited about what we're building here. So.
Well, it's incredible. Not only tell us a little bit about the team itself. And, in year 3, my understanding is volleyball players commit at a young age.
They do. Right. They used to commit really young, like all the other sports. And luckily the rules have changed. So now it's, June 15th of their sophomore year going into their junior year is when you can communicate. Okay, got it. So not until that point. So it's a little later now, which is good. Yeah. But still might seem early. I don't know. Right. But so you're recruiting a couple of years out. So when I got here, the cupboards were kind of bare, which I understood. Right. Because the players here didn't know what was going to happen. They had to make decisions. Right. Where are they going to go? So the first year was challenging. Right. And you learn more. It's a high academic school. Everybody knows it's Notre Dame. Yeah. But you don't really know until you try to get people in. And you're like, wow, this is...
this person could get in at all the other top programs, right? Yeah.
Everywhere. And these aren't like average students. Like, this is a big deal. Yeah. So, I had to shift gears quickly and think, okay, what is this going to look like? What are my goals? What am I doing first? So it's about culture, establishing what we're going to be, an identity, how hard we're going to work, all of those things with whom we could get and really fill a roster. And I'm so grateful to everyone that came and all of those student athletes that helped build what the foundation. Right. So it's like, this is who we are. This is what we do. This is what it looks like. Yeah. And now we keep getting better and better with that base and that foundation. Yeah. That's everything. That's right. So it won't crumble.
It's so funny that being around here and seeing all the construction over so many years, it seems like it takes a long time when they dig the hole and they lay the foundations and it seems like forever before that building starts to come out of the ground. But once it starts to come out of the ground, boy, it moves fast. Yeah. And in the first couple of years, you've been laying the foundations for this program. The type of student that you're recruiting, student athlete, the culture that you're instilling here. So year 3, is this going to be a breakout year? Is it year 4? I mean, it takes a while to build.
It takes a while. It takes a while. Yeah. And I have to be real cautious because while I'm super excited about what I'm seeing in preseason right now, it's awesome. Yeah. But so is everyone else, right? So our conference is super strong. One of the best conferences in the country now. Right. We've got Louisville and Pitt that are consistently in the Final Four now. Yeah. And Florida State and Georgia Tech that are top 10. Yeah. And now we're adding Stanford, who's multiple national champion. Right. So it's a tough conference. Yeah. So the reality of it is we're focused on getting better every single day. We're focused on the progress and the process of getting to where we need to be. If we are training at a high level, if we keep our standards at a certain level, then we can be where we need to be. We're going to be better than last year. Right. Talented. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
You said you have a very highly recruited class that's coming in here. Can they really make an impact their first year? Does it take a little bit longer to develop them, or I'm sure any great player can in the first year, but I mean, typically speaking.
Right. Well, it depends. It really does depend. Yeah. So some are even more developed than others right now, or can provide more in the point scoring opportunities right now. Right. And some will have, it's the speed of the game. Yeah. That's the biggest jump. And it's probably with most sports. Right. How quickly can they adapt to the speed of what's happening in front of them? Right. Are they physical enough? Yes. Are they talented enough? Yes. Yeah. But it'll take them a little time. And that's the thing. We'll be an interesting mix. We're going to be really young and really old. We've got a couple fifth years. We've got some seniors that are going to play, and then some freshmen that are going to contribute. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah. how that plays out. Yeah. And, but I am confident that we're going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah.
There's going to be some stuff that you haven't seen, in years past.
Right.
Maybe a team like Louisville will walk in the gym and everyone in the crowd's like, wow, they're way bigger. Not anymore. We're big.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we're big. We're physical.
That's great.
We just got to get it done,
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've also been building a really welcoming here in the Purcell Pavilion and playing the same court. They move in a different court here where the men's basketball and women's basketball team play. And you've been building a crowd, a base. Mm-hmm. How have you gone, aside from putting a better and better product each year out here, what have you done to build the crowd size?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. It's the culture and the vibe of the program that started it. I'm telling you, the first year, we'd lose a match, whatever, playing hard. The next weekend, we had more people. And we were just astounded. But everyone that talked to us was like, it's so much fun to watch. Mm-hmm. You guys, you draw people in. And I like that combination of we're never going to give up.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
We are working as hard as we can. We are all over the place, all over the ground, but we're having fun while we're doing it. And I think that kind of resonates with people. They're like, that was cool. Yeah. I'm coming back. So there's that. And then just getting out in the community. Yeah. Our student athletes do. Mm-hmm. They're out in the community, in the schools. That's what I love about Notre Dame. Yeah. It's about family. It's about the community. And that's a big point of focus for us. Yeah. And for myself, just speaking in front of people and just saying, hey, this is me. This is who we are. And this is where we're headed. So
what were your crowd sizes like when you started, and where are you at now, and where do you hope to go to? Because the story of like Nebraska selling the women's volleyball team, selling out the 77,000 or something that they had to attend a game. Yep. The sport of volleyball, in particular women's volleyball, is picking up steam. I imagine the Olympics is only going to add to it. There's so much talent globally. Yeah. Is this something we can expect to see this place sold out? Oh yeah, eventually. Yeah. Oh yeah. I am fully confident in that. It started as maybe under 1,000, just coming to check it out. And then it grew to a little bit more and a little bit more, where we have a few thousand. And if we can get this lower bowl full this year, I think that would be huge for us and keep going. But I think the more people we just get in the seats, I am biased because it's volleyball. It's so much fun to watch. People, newcomers are like, I had no idea. Yeah. And you want to keep coming. We just need to get you in the door the first time. Yeah. And this place will be full. So, it'll be just like women's basketball. So talk to the folks, because many people watching will be back for football weekends. Yes. And you play, you have a lot of home matches around football weekends, Friday nights before a game, Thursday night if they're in town. When does the season actually begin? When's your first? Yeah, so we start the end of August. 2 weeks is our first game, but we're away for the first 2 weekends. Okay. So we're in Santa Clara the first weekend, then Mississippi State. Okay. The second weekend, and then we're home. Right. So whatever weekend that is. Yeah. So we start September. Yeah. And we play Friday nights, and we try to do it generally around 6:30. Okay. I think it's a good time for families. It's a good time for people that are thinking about going out later. Right. We try to find that sweet spot. Right. And then we play Sundays as well. Yeah. So then we're in 1:00 in the afternoon on Sunday. So it's a nice, we can kind of bookend the football game. Yeah. And people are excited about seeing Notre Dame win, and then they get to see football and they're more excited and they want to come back. So it's fun. It's exciting. It's an awesome environment. Our in-house events, Mike and his team has gotten things going to the point where it's fun, and we're doing trivia on the board, and there's giveaways, and there's all the things that just make you want to be here and a part of it. It's an event within the event. That's what you want to. I must say that, not to put any heat or pressure on you, but Jack Swarbrick, before he left and his role as AD, said, watch Salima, as many have. Yeah. She's going to bring a national championship to Notre Dame, and everything you can see right now is building toward this team getting stronger and stronger, every day, every year, which is really exciting. So you were an All-American setter. And, I've always been prone to the libero. Then until 10 minutes ago, I was calling libero, but we won't disclose that. Either way. Yeah. The libero. Okay. And so I always thought that the libero was more important than the setter. And you're saying that this is not biased, that you played the position.
Okay.
But you think the setter is really critical.
No, so you keep using the word importance. They're all equally important.
Okay, good. Okay.
All of the positions.
Okay.
The setter is just different. The setter is the one, you thought the libero was running the offense or in charge of kind of that. And it's really the setter. So the setter is the one telling everyone where they're going to hit, the plays you're going to run.
Yeah.
They're in charge of all of that. So they're the ones making it go in that sense. Now the libero, your favorite position, they're doing all the dirty work. They wear a different
uniform, right?
They wear a different uniform, yes. So you'll know who they are.
Yeah.
But they're doing all the dirty work. They're digging all the balls. They're on the ground. They're rolling all the way around, diving into the stands, and it's fun. Yeah. So both of them are equally as important, but different positions.
Very politically correct right now on that. Thank you. Well done. Okay, good. What, when you look, you've got Stanford now is new to the ACC this year, and obviously one of the top, maybe the top program in the country right now. There's the two other programs that are joining right now, I should know right offhand. Cal and SMU. And I imagine, are they also really strong programs? So it is one of the top. This is going to be a really tough,
without question,
competition.
I mean, so you look at the Big Ten is very, very top heavy. You know, they're really, really good.
Right.
They've been the premier conference, I would say, for a while. Yeah. Pac-12. Pac-10, Pac whatever it was, way back in the day used to be, and then it kind of shifted towards the Midwest, and now the ACC. I mean, it's just incredible, like what the programs have done. You talked about Cal and SMU. SMU they're going to be really, really good. Yeah. They have the ability to get a lot of transfers, so you're going to see a lot of the kids that left the state of Texas that want to come back, and they're just scooping them up. These are physical kids that can bang the ball. So they're going to be really, really good. I would say even top to bottom, you look at the middle of the pack. I mean, you have Duke and North Carolina, and we're not, it is Miami. It is no joke.
Yeah.
So
there's no off night.
No. There's no, but that's what you want.
Yeah.
Right. That's why you do this.
Get better. That's right.
You don't want to just roll over people. I mean, it's kind of fun to do that. But
so how do you sell Notre Dame to a recruit?
Yeah.
What do they have so many great choices, and is Marcus Freeman will often say, choose hard.
Yeah.
That it's harder here in many ways in terms of living in a single sex dorm.
Right.
The academics, as we talked about, and so forth. How do you sell it?
For me, it's an easy sell. I think there are so many unique things that Notre Dame offers that no place else in the country offers.
Right.
And I think once you talk to the parents and you talk to the student athletes about the connections, the alum, the for forever.
Yeah.
What is Notre Dame going to do for you? What are we doing for you?
Right.
And when it turns from, okay, what are all the things you're going to do for me to help me win this?
Right.
How can we help you become this amazing human and person for the rest of your life?
Right.
And I think all of the elements that surround what is Notre Dame, when you start pulling in all that, they can see the big picture.
Got it.
And for me, we know the X's and O's. We know volleyball.
That's right.
We need to match the talent, but the right people.
Yeah.
Not everyone's built for Notre Dame.
Right.
They're not.
They're right.
And it's pretty obvious and apparent. And there are people that are motivated by their academics. They know what they want to be. They want to be elite in everything.
Right.
That's the fit.
Yeah.
That's what you want. These incredible human beings that get the whole thing. So.
And that was there. The Notre Dame part was there before you came here. But now there's a confidence that you can compete at the highest level.
That's it.
And you can win it all. I mean, if that's not there, you're not going to get the top.
Right. And you know what it takes. You know what it looks like. I mean, I don't like selling myself to them.
Right.
But it's talking about the history.
Right.
Because when you look at a school, there are some coaches that are in programs that have history, but the coach had nothing to do with the history.
Yeah.
It's literally the school.
Right.
Now you're here. I'm a coach that can train you.
Right.
I can get you to this place. You want to be on the national team. We can do this.
Right.
You want to play professionally.
Yeah.
You will have the ability to do this. I know everybody that agents, all of it
Right.
for later in life.
Right.
And then when that ball drops, you don't have anything to worry about. Like you were prepared, you were set for life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the whole package does kind of sell itself. It's still a challenge, but it's good.
So what kind of goals do you set for the team here? I know that, the coaches speak, which is like, we're only focused on our next opponent and all that kind of stuff like that. And it makes a great deal of sense. Yeah. But do you set goals like we want to finish in the top 3 in a very competitive league? Do we want to make it to the NCAA tournament? How do you goal set, especially in year 3 for a team that is developing?
Well, and I think when you're building, your goal setting looks a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And when I talked about the process, let's say we're wanting to be competitive with the teams that make it to the NCAA.
Right.
So what we do, I'll look at, statistically, what are they hitting? What is their, so like a batting average kind of.
Right.
So what are the outsides hitting? What are the middles doing? How are they serving?
Yeah.
How are they receiving the ball? What is that range?
Right.
Can we be in these ranges? Because if you can get yourself through training and everything that we're doing here in those ranges, the rest of it takes care of itself.
Yeah.
And you need to be careful early on.
Right.
I'm really excited about what's going on, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where we're going to fall.
Yeah.
And this is going to take some time being at this level
to
know really what does that mean within the context of our conference.
Right.
So for them, it's a little bit more parameters. Let's see, hey, let's take this, let's limit our errors by this amount.
Right.
If we can be in these ranges, then, so it's a little bit different. That's how I'm approaching it. To keep them processed. If they're not, they get too far ahead of themselves.
Yeah.
And if you're only focused on the outcome, you forget about everything else that's happening in the meantime.
Okay, one of the things that shocked me watching the Olympics, both on the men's and women's side, is the serve. Oh. There were so many errors in really critical games on the serves, and it seems to me that if they serve up a soft one, the team is doomed, for the return. So the margins of what they're trying to do in placement, speed, velocity, and all that stuff are so critical that there's still a lot of errors that come.
That's a really good observation. Look at you, but it's real. It's real.
About myself
and especially on the men's side, you see it a lot. If you watch a lot of high level men's volleyball, I mean, because like you said, if it's an easy serve, it's over.
It's over.
It's over no matter what. So you have to take some chances. You have to risk. The risk gets a little bit lower depending on your level and where you're at. But it's the only closed chain skill, right? It's the only one where you're by yourself. You have control of the ball. You're in your own head.
Right.
This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm controlling the ball.
Yeah.
And so it's tough. You have to serve tough, but it's not just as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Because there are different ways to serve. There's a jump top spin.
Yeah.
There's a float that's kind of like a knuckleball baseball, right?
Yeah.
So you hit it dead center. Now it's moving. If you can perfect a really good float, and it's hard to track, the bottom will drop out of it, right?
So do many of your players have different, like a great pitcher, different serves in their repertoire?
So we want them to. We have a couple. We have a few. The jump spin with enough speed and velocity is really hard.
Okay.
That's really, it can't be just like I'm standing there hitting an easy ball, because that ball generally doesn't change trajectory.
Got it.
Right. So if it's coming right at you, it might as well be someone just doing that.
Right.
So it's easier to perfect a float
than
to really rip a hard jump serve. You're going to see a couple of them this year. We got two that can rip a jump serve.
So do you feel it's to your advantage more to serve or return? It's more to return, isn't it? You got a better chance of making a point on the return?
No, because you score points either way. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Okay, so like most times, like in tennis, you get to the professional level, anyways. The serve is an advantage. It's hard to break.
Oh, I see what
the
you're
person.
saying. Yeah.
In this case, it seems like the advantage almost is to the team that's returning the serve? Because you got the first chance to set up.
I see what you're saying. Is
that accurate or not?
No, not entirely.
Okay.
And it's mostly because your defense, depending on your team, right?
Yeah.
Your block, the size of your block.
Yeah.
How good are you as a serving team?
Right.
You can completely knock them off the net, out of system, so they're not at an advantage. It would be easy to be an advantage if you were serving easy, right? So let's say that's how the game worked.
That's right.
And they can do whatever they want. But if you have a really good serving team, and you can create a situation where the ball that's coming back over is easier.
Right.
Now you're in the advantage in transition. That's a transition play.
Right.
So it's a little complicated. So
all right. So what are your needs? What can we do? People that want to really support. There's so many changes going on, right? From when you played and coached to now the transfer portal, NIL, for every collegiate sport, a lot of change going on. What support do you need to move this program forward?
Yeah, fortunately, I have incredible support by the athletic department.
Yeah.
I mean, they really have stepped up to the point where it's like, hey, we need to be competitive with the top teams in the country. Great. So that's huge.
Yeah.
Now, is it everything? No. So, there's some things down, the road, certainly with our new facility, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
That is in the works. And that's going to take some time. That's going to take a lot of money to build and to get a facility that compares to other volleyball only facilities, right? So this is an amazing basketball facility that volleyball plays in.
Correct.
A little bit smaller, more intimate, where we have everything in house. We have the weight room, you have your own nutrition, you have your own, things that you can just
top volleyball programs have.
Yeah. So that would be probably one of the big priorities.
Right. Sure.
And we're always looking to, Notre Dame's big on studying abroad. And that's a huge thing. And we want to take the foreign tours as we are allowed every 4 years.
Right.
So that's something to kind of keep on the radar for us that I want to provide for our student athletes, which would take some outside help as well.
Can you envision a day when this team is filling Notre Dame Stadium? Playing a game?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's similar. Okay. It's not similar in Nebraska, but it's similar in some ways that it's kind of, this is what it is.
Right.
And if the community's in and people are all in, you can get that many people that want to see something really cool. That's what Nebraska did.
Yeah.
They put the court down and everybody just showed up. They're like, let's go to this really cool event at the football stadium.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I don't know when. I mean, that's ambitious, but
you start selling this place out first. That's a key thing, and then we'll take that next step.
Yes.
How about any closing words? Anything you haven't had a chance to share that you think would be helpful for people to know about your philosophy, about the program, about the future of Notre Dame volleyball?
Well, I think our program is built on, I call it that whole growth mindset.
Yeah.
Right. And I think my job and my goal is to encourage our student athletes to see everything as a challenge.
Yeah.
And to really be open.
Right.
Which is tough with a lot of student athletes that aren't used to failing. Right.
Yeah.
They're not used to not being the best at a lot of things. So the cool thing that I've seen over the last few years is that shift in mentality. Hey, we're working on this. We're drilling this. It's okay if we make errors. In fact, it's almost encouraged because you're working on what we're trying to do.
Right.
So seeing that growth and watching them get to the other side of something that's a challenge in their face, I just think prepares them for life. And I'm not sure, with a lot that's going on in society, with social media, with so much, that they're always getting that.
Got it.
And so it's just a fun
So
place
that's interesting. You bring that up. So getting them more comfortable with failing. So as a coach, when somebody gets up and drills a serve that they're really trying to master into the net, how do you handle that? Are you like, come on? Or how are you supportive? How do you deal with that?
Well, I usually ask them for their own feedback. Like, what did you feel there?
Yeah.
What did you see there?
Yeah.
And what were you going for?
Right.
And what did it feel like?
Right.
And then they'll talk to you a little bit through it and say, okay, let's make those adjustments. I mean, it's the only way, especially when you're practicing and you're training. There's times where it's match point.
Right.
let's serve like let's groove this ball in,
That's right. Yeah.
That's different.
Right.
But when we're learning, the learning process has to be about education. It has to be about, all right, now we're doing it. Now you feel it. Now you're doing it over and over again. So no, I'm not, for me, it's effort.
It's effort.
If the effort's not there, that's a totally different story.
Right. Then that's when you'll
that has to be there.
That's right. Effort and attitude, right?
Yeah, that's a standard.
One final question as I go on here, but you look like you could still play. You look like you're still in playing shape. When you're coaching, do you get out and mix it up with them somewhat, or do you just like stay?
So I did.
You did.
But there's a couple of things. I can't jump that well anymore. This knee doesn't really work that well. So, as you said, I'm a setter.
Yeah.
So if they toss it right to me or I move within a range, I can, but my Achilles has been sore. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Because that will happen in a hurry.
Yeah.
But we'll hit balls. We'll be involved in initiating drills, but playing.
Yeah.
No, that ship sailed.
Count me among the many who are really excited about this season.
Thank you.
And really excited about the energy and the expertise and the that you're bringing to this program and the type of student athletes that you're recruiting to Notre Dame. So we're really, really grateful for your leadership. We're so excited to see this program continue to develop and take on the giants of the day and beat them eventually. So we always close these programs and invite anybody wherever you are to join us in a prayer to Our Lady, the patroness of Notre Dame. So together we say, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Take care, God bless, go Irish, and come see a Notre Dame women's volleyball game this fall. We'll see you here in the Purcell Pavilion.